Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where apparently the forests are very bright. Okay, it's adjusting. So we're seeing the camera exposure adjust. Okay. When I first paused and unpaused the recording to get the daylight set up correctly, I don't know what happened. It looked like HDR was broken or something, but I don't think that was actually the case. I think it was just auto exposure needed some time to, well, auto expose. So that's absolutely okay. We do need to get some on-off ramps built over here, and that is exactly what our goal is going to be for the time being. We need to get this area fully operational, and we're exceptionally close to that. So we're just going to take this up over here. That was sloped too steep, but we can put it in there. So that'll be fine. And then out over here, that'll be okay for now. Then, of course, we would need off-ramps over here. And this is potentially going to eliminate a few items, but that's okay. And we'll just bring this right on up over here. Cool. So then we just need on-off ramps over here. So this would be, of course, an on-ramp. Something about like that, but that sloped too steep. What do we got over here? This technically works. Sure. It's pretty far away, but that's fine, I guess. And then out over here, we would need our off-ramp. That is giving us a pillar issue. Okay. So somewhere around here would be more like it. And then an on-ramp out over this direction. There we go. So that is this area actually fully good to go. We could just zone this right up, and I think there's no reason not to. I do want to eliminate this structure here, so that'll be fine. And from here, we just zone this entire area light residential, I think. So I'm just going to use marquee select, and we are going to just zone it like so. Cool. So there's that. That should, hopefully, work with some of our demand here. Let's speed up a bit. It's currently 4:30 a.m., and it is eventually going to become light. Eventually. We're not producing anything with our solar power plant right now. We are discharging from our emergency battery station. So that's going to be empty in 3 hours. Now, it is winter, so we have reduced amounts of sunlight. That's definitely something that I noticed. The sun doesn't seem to rise very much in the winter on this map. So this is a very like Nordic style map, right? So that's absolutely fine. We're going to want to fill out this area over here. And to that end, that means that we're going to need to build out this road first, right? And then we're just going to need to just get that gridded up. So that'll be okay. We've also got this whole area out over here that we can fairly easily build on-off ramps and convert into being ready to go. We've also got this area on the other side of this highway, which is pretty much going to work the same way that this did. Although, as I said at the very tail end of last episode, I'm not 100% sold on this junction. We'll see if I get over it. We'll see. For now, this seems reasonably fine. Mostly what I'm doing at this moment is monitoring our demand for low-density residential. We're seeing if this will satisfy it, although I'd really like to get this filled out. So in the meantime, I think what we should do is get complex road curve tool here. And how is this set up right now? Oh, that's weird. This was not how this was intended to be set up. Okay, so we're going to eliminate that street for the moment. Okay, so we want this to come in underneath, right? So I want this guy to be right out over here and curving down underneath here. But that is in water. It's going to be kind of hard to see where the actual boundary line is, isn't it? I guess it's right here. Yeah. That is the case. Okay, good to know. So with that being the case, then we would bring this guy over through here. And then it would come over like this, right? And then we would just keep bringing it over along the side of the river, avoiding that pillar issue. And we would just bring it in kind of like that for right now. Approximately. Yeah, that'll work for the moment. I can live with that. We'll probably change it later, but for now, that will certainly do. Okay, so next up, we're going to need to use the straight line tool and bring this guy out to 112 meters. And then this should actually be here, connecting over this way. That's very likely to hit some issues here, but these blocks are actually a little bit too long. So we've got a pillar issue here. I'm going to knock that out of there for the moment. And we're just going to go through and connect this straight on in over here. That is going to remove some buildable area, but it's also going to add some buildable area. I suspect it's about a wash, all things considered. And this intersection here is going to be a little messy. Indeed it is. I'm not sure how we want to handle that yet, but it's not like this. I can tell you that right now. This is not how I want that to be handled. I don't know what's going on over here. So I'm just going to remake that, and yeah, we'll bring it down to there. That's about the right spot. Okay, now we're going to continue to bring this over to be about like so. Are we going to run into a pillar issue here? Surprisingly, no. We'll take it. Lack of pillar issue is absolutely great. So this road just continues to go straight on through over here. No pillar issue there either. So that's phenomenal. Now over here, I think we'll probably just terminate right there. Or maybe just extend the road out and from here curve it up. So we could go to the curve tool. And just bring it up kind of like that. And then down here, the road would come down and just kind of curve over like that. Eventually, it'll get extended along. I'm not going to be deleting these highways, so that's okay. Now, we're going to need to address this situation, right? We can't take this out. So I think what we need to do is we need to extend this highway over, and we also need to extend the highway over here, which we did take out. So we would do that right about here. That is not what I'm looking for. 4-lane, 2-way highway, please. Thank you. We'd extend that out like so. There we go. And then this highway here should be extended out. Overlapping items. Yes, I want to extend it. What do you mean over? Oh, it's going down. Gotcha. Didn't mean to delete that, but it's okay. I'm sure they'll get over it. So we're going to bring this guy up and just snap it to the center of this roundabout here, or approximately the center of the roundabout. I guess here. Sure. So there. Gotcha. Then from here, we would do something like that. And we would bring this guy in and up over here. Now, that slope too steep, evidently. Even if we come out over here. Interesting. Oh, because I built this, like, stupidly high. Okay. Sure. That was not the altitude it was meant to be at. It was meant to be at this altitude, right? So let's try lining that back up again at this altitude. That does make some more sense. Okay. So we would bring that guy out to about here. There we go. And now we would bring this out over here. And then this would go in over here. Kind of like that. It's a little awkward still, but it'll get the job done for the moment. Now, that is currently 1 lane. We should actually have these be 2 lane. So let's upgrade that right here. I don't love that positioning. Okay, we'll upgrade that. I'm going to take this back out of here, and we're going to rebuild this side. So that'll be okay. We'll just take this out and connect it in over here. That's apparently giving invalid shape. Sure. I mean, that kind of makes sense. So in that case, we're probably going to have to take this out as well. So this is like not even, right? This is not at the halfway point of this highway. So that's the core issue here. Now, we didn't design it to be, so it's not surprising that it's not. But what we can certainly try to do is bring this up over here. It didn't connect in, but that's fine for now. And then bring this out over here. And then that would just have a small bend to it, right? So it would end up being something kind of like that. It's definitely awkward. Do I have the wrong directionality? Yes, I do. Okay, so we're going to flip those around. That makes a lot more sense now. Perfect. Okay, so these are not going to be ideal. We're going to eventually continue to push this back until we overtake this interchange and we build our own variant of the interchange, which is very likely to be something very similar to what we have going on out here. Something a lot more basic. We'll see how that ends up going. For now, we do need to extend this road out, and that'll need to go 112 meters for right now, and then that would eventually merge in up here, right? So that would come in like so. And then this road...
And on to our main feature story.
I'm just wondering about angling here. Okay, yep. This road would come in like so, and then this road would come in out over here. Approximately like that. That doesn't look straight, but that's because there's quite a sharp grade to it, which does make sense. Okay, next up, we're going to bring this road out to about here.
Thanks, Jim.
And that, of course, connects in down here, right? But we do have a bit of a pillar issue here, I think. Or actually, this is our highway is not significantly above the ground issue. Gotcha. So we're going to take that out of here for now. We can't bulldoze that without this go. Ooh, I see. There's some awkwardness going on over here. Okay, we'll try rebuilding this situation here first. It really doesn't care for this intersection, and I guess I don't blame it. So what happens if we build it from here in, right? So if we build it from this side, how does that end up looking? Same problem. Okay, so I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use the curve tool here. We bring this guy out, and it would go approximately here, right? So we would want it to be like here, and then it would just slightly curve in, just to clean up that intersection a little bit. Something like that. So that'll work for now, and then we can bring this guy straight on down. Phenomenal. From there, of course, we would want to extend this highway back out. So that would end up coming down over here, then over here, then over here. There we go. It doesn't look straight unless we look at it straight down because there's a significant grade there, but it is actually straight. So that looks solid. Next up, we would bring this road over. And that's not long enough to require any other roadage, so it just connects in right there. Phenomenal. Then we would bring this road, in theory, right up to here. There we go. And then we just bring this over to here, and then this over to here. And that's this section roaded up, approximately. There's a couple of mildly awkward spots. I missed this as well. Let's get that roaded in. Are we going to run into any grade issues there? Yes, we are. That is absolutely slope too steep. So I'm going to take these out of here for now, and we're going to replace them by bringing this guy in over here. And then we're going to connect this road up. There we go. That'll do the trick. Now, there are some abandoned houses here. That's to be expected. I'm deeply unsurprised about that one. There we go. Cool. Now, we would need on-off ramps only right here. So we would have an on-ramp here. We would want to change our setup here. There we go. And I want to be in highway mode for this. Okay. There we go. Now we're in the right mode. So then we would have our on-ramp that would come out over this direction, right? And that would just connect in about like that. And then our off-ramp would come out over here. That's giving us overlapping items. This is not. Okay. So something approximately like that. We would not have any other on-off ramps over here because it doesn't fit into the pattern. So that's fine. At this point, we can absolutely get some additional zoning done over here. I'm going to use bucket fill for this because I don't want to fill in this riverside over here. So that'll be absolutely fine. We'll get this area all dealt with, but on the far side of this road, I don't want it zoned up for right now. We can maybe zone that later, but I don't want to interfere with the natural flow of the river for this moment. So that is the reason why that's not happening. That said, I do see we need a street over here. That is noted. And from here, we can use the marquee select tool. And we would just go from like here all the way over, right? And we just get that done. Now, we'll need a little bit over here. We could actually unzone this if we wanted to. It may not be the worst of ideas to unzone this. And we would need to get on-off ramps done there. So that's fine. First things first, I want to get these roads slightly extended here. We are actually intending to continue the city out this direction. Eventually. Not immediately, but eventually. So we'll do that for now. Then we'll need our on-off ramps over here, right? So that's absolutely fine. First things first, let's go this direction. And we're going to just extend this in. Phenomenal. And out. Cool. That'll do. Now then, the next set would actually go here. Which there's nothing to connect it to. So for now, I think that we're actually going to have to not get that done. Definitely mildly awkward, but okay. We can certainly work with that. Cool. The power keeps going out. I'm not sure that that's true, though. Unless our discharge here, well, this is currently flowing at minus 17.11 megawatts. I'm wondering if it can charge and discharge. Well, if it's discharging, there should be no power flowing into the emergency battery station. So this is minus 17 megawatts, so we're not close to the maximum discharge of our emergency battery station then. In theory. We did just have a traffic accident over here. That's not shocking. So we're going to tick forward here and see if all of this residential puts a dent into our residential demand. We have so much residential demand. It's insane. So much residential demand. We will see. This is quite a lot of additional residential that we've zoned up. And we also, of course, have some additional ways to get in and out of the city now. We have additional exits on the highway here. So that is absolutely great. One question you might ask is, how are you supposed to get from, say, going this direction to going this direction? The answer is the Ivy Highway takes you up, and there's a lane that goes like this. It shouldn't go like this. In reality, you should have to go around here, but that's not the way that it works. So for now, this is absolutely fine. We do see some people over here using it to exit. Cool. So that is altogether great. We should be seeing the sun coming up pretty soon. It's currently almost 6 o'clock. So the question is, when is the sun going to come up? How are we doing on our emergency battery station? We're currently empty in about 4 hours. Okay. That looks reasonably fine for the moment. Ah, that must be the sun starting to come up. We're definitely seeing some, like, exposure artifacts up over here. Absolutely, we are. Oh, it's raining. That's gross. So these are definitely very icy. It's currently exactly freezing and raining. That might actually be what we're seeing here. It's currently about 6:20, so we'll see if we end up actually getting the sun to rise, but for now, this is okay. We can always extend down over this direction, and virtually all of this is within land down here, right? So that's absolutely fine. No issue there. How's this primary way into the city doing? There's absolutely no congestion at all on that one. Cool. Okay, we've definitely had a bit of an accident over here. With how slippery things are right now, I'm not shocked about this. Like, that police car is currently covered in ice. And it's been there for only a couple of minutes. That's kind of grim. Everyone is completely covered in ice. Yeah, that's certainly non-ideal. As far as I'm aware, there's no, like, snow clearance or anything like that in the game. We have these road services here. We have, like, the road maintenance depot, right? But that's definitely not really enough. Now, we could start going to sound barriers on our highways. I think on our elevated highways, though, those are already built. I think. Because if we look at these here, well, those don't really look like sound barriers, do they? No, they do not. They don't look like sound barriers at all. So if we were to hypothetically... that doesn't appear to want to upgrade. So maybe we can't do it on... Well, it's highlighting on the ground, actually. Hang on. Yeah, it's not wanting to upgrade. Okay. So maybe we can't do that on elevated highways. That is a possibility. No doubt about it. For now, though, this is reasonably fine. So we're continuing to tick on forward. We're keeping an eye on the low-density residential demand. We're also seeing that the snow is melting off here. No doubt about that. The snow is currently melting. It is December, so that's probably just because we're above freezing right now. It's currently 7:10, and one question I have is, when is that sun coming up? Because we could definitely use some solar power here. We don't have any generation from it right now. We're still discharging from our battery station at the moment. So let's take a look at the sky here. Well, we've definitely got some aurora going on here. Okay, I think the answer to that is not for a while. Cool. Well, that's reasonably fine. As we watch the snow recede, it's receding from, like, the south here, which is interesting. Actually, it's receding from the coastline. That's how it's working. It is receding away from the coast. That makes sense, actually. So that's fine. It's currently 2 degrees out now. I don't think winter is over, to be clear. It's still December. We've still got some time on that one. No doubt about it. But this rain is definitely coming through, and things are getting less icy. So that's absolutely great. We do see some demand rising for commercial, and demand for light residential is continuing to rise here. To really absolutely no one's surprise, we can do additional on-off ramps over here, and we know that it's going to be like this one, where we're only doing the one set for now, unless we were to purchase all of this and expand out that way, which we certainly could do, but that would be a relatively large endeavor, and we're probably not going to look to do that immediately. Although we may want to purchase up the tiles, just for now. Just to get that doable. So I think that's definitely something we can do. We can also just make this a little bit more rectangular by doing that, just so that we're not right up on the edge here. And we can now expand quite a bit further down this direction as well. Down to this highway, and then we can start to jump the highway and expand onto this section of land over here, and this down here. So that's absolutely great. No problem whatsoever. We've got a fair amount of room here. We could consider expanding this direction as well. Living near industrial areas is terrible. Yes, it is. I agree. Speaking of living near industrial areas, what has happened with our ground pollution down here? I think we're no longer seeing any indicator of it. I think it's gone. Almost gone. This is where it was. It's definitely significantly reduced. So it takes a while, no doubt about that. Our ground pollution up over here pretty much is what it is. It's not going to change too much for the time being. And this is our air pollution here, which is fine. We're just going to have additional industrial be up in this area, right? So it's going to continue to head off this direction and kind of follow the river. That's fine. No major problem. Can't seem to get anywhere in the city without running into a traffic jam. I don't see any traffic jams right now. I guess it's over here.
But if you're planning a quick trip,
It is over here.
You might want to wait a little while until everything clears up.
Okay.
If you're in it, you already know about it. No use reminding you. Meanwhile,
I mean, things seem to be flowing reasonably well. There's not that many more people coming in here. I think it's handled. What are these guys trying to do? They're trying to merge on over here and go this way. Okay, that's definitely not ideal. So the ideal scenario here... Hang on. Something's wrong here about the way that this is going. This needs to be an on-ramp. This needs to be an off-ramp. We should definitely fix that. So this would go this direction. Hang on. This direction. It does not want to flip. Why doesn't it want to flip? Oh, because I need to go this way. I'm dumb. Okay, that's reasonably fine. So we can do something like that. These were built backwards, and that is the core issue there. Okay, so that should clear up that area. No problem whatsoever. This traffic jam is definitely clearing up. It's not done, but it's getting there. Cool. And we have no significant issue here now. Perfect. So that's all cleared up. No issue there. Now the potential issue would be out over here. Okay. I think the problem here is, why are you just parked here? Okay, get out of there. And then it despawns. Okay, sure. But for now, that's fine. We'll keep an eye on this traffic, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, looks like we're going to need to get ourselves some commercial going here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Katogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.